Welcome into BLTV Channel 6. I'm Brian Kell. We have asked many of the candidates in hotly contested races throughout our service area to come sit down with us and talk about what they are running for and what makes them who they are and what they stand for. And this is no exception. We are proud to have with us at the table Warren County Executive Jimmy Haley. Sir, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you as well. Ben Lomond has always been a community player and got the information out to all of our folks, and the extra efforts y'all have gone over the last few years to help extend broadband and communications to all of our residents has been much appreciated. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Tell us about you.
Oh, with me. Well, I'm a lifelong resident. Grew up here. Went to school here. Went to UT Knoxville. Went to Tennessee Tech. Was a teacher for 41 years in the Warren County school system at the high school, teaching econ and government and in history. Been a community volunteer pretty much my whole life. Served as a city of McMinnville mayor and an alderman for several years as well. Been out there in I guess the trenches, doing work across the community pretty much my whole life. Married to Katrina Haley. We've been married for 35 years. She's a career educator as well, but now working as in IT for Bridgestone. My daughter's a career educator as well, so it kind of runs in our family. So she's a second grade teacher at Hickory Creek Elementary School, where she went to school, and her grandmother taught as well. So I feel like we're well vested in this community and have been for years.
How do you view the county executive position, and what do you view as its primary responsibilities?
Well, as county executive, I found over the last 4 years, it's a little bit different from mayor. Mayor is a little bit more ceremonial. County executive is the chief financial officer, the chief executive officer for all of Warren County government. And even though you have separate elected officials who run their own departments, the overall operations and the fiduciary responsibilities that we have to have with the state falls upon my shoulders and upon that office. So from audits to making sure our property is well maintained and taken care of, to make sure all the reporting is done properly, that we follow the law, all of that basically falls upon the shoulder of the county executive. So it's a daunting task when you feel like everything from the sheriff's department to the education system to roads and highways and sanitation, animal control, even though those have separate officials and oftentimes in charge or directors, all the responsibilities and stuff for executing the law and making sure everything's done properly really falls upon the county executive.
Right. Another question. Is it important to build relationships with all county commissioners, commission members, or just the ones that agree with you on a particular issue or subject? And I guess the second part of that question would be, if it's important to build all relationships, as someone who's been in this position for 4 years, what do you feel like you've done to help build that, if it's important with all?
Oh, it's always important. Relationships with Washington is important. That's why I stay in contact with them constantly. The same thing with Nashville, and it's not different from any other of the mayors or governments that operate within Warren County, but in particular, the 24 county commissioners that sit in those seats and meet once a month to basically craft the policies and draft the resolutions that basically govern our community. So those relationships there, many of them have been my former students. Some have been my classmates. Some of them we share family relations with. And so we've had a good working relationship pretty much over the last 4 years. Some more so than others, but I'm a proverbial optimist. I try to build relationships with each and every person. My door is always open. All 24 commissioners have my cell phone. One of the first things that I did as county executive was set up emails so we can share information and disseminate information that's important to all 24 commissioners. So we do that as well. I do an executive report in every meeting for every docket and agenda. I answer questions. I share information that's pertinent to county operations. So, the accomplishments that we have done over the last 4 years have been with the help and the support of that county commission. So I feel like that relationship has been fairly well, or we wouldn't have accomplished all the things that we've done over the last 4 years. So yes, the county executive is, it's a separate branch, just like the courts are, but I think one of the duties and responsibilities is to make sure those three branches of government operate well with each other and cooperate, because that's how we succeed as a community.
In your opinion, what are the best parts of this year's budget? And then also, too, in your view, what are items that fall short in funding?
Well, you know, even during a pandemic, Tennessee's economy grew and prospered. Tax collections were up, the economy went well. We really suffered no, shortfalls in our revenue stream. We were more successful than some rural communities were, so we did continue to grow and prosper. The additional grant monies that came in through stimulus and ARP and through ESSER funds for the school system allowed for additional revenue to be earmarked toward capital improvement projects or to bank it until we had projects that we could afford to fund. And so that was not anything that regular local tax money had to support. So one of the things that I think we accomplished this year in working with this budget, which was long overdue, was salary and pay increases for employees. And so we had kind of put it off, waiting to see what the economy did. We're probably financially more well off now than we have been in years. Our bank accounts are good. Our financial advisors say we're in good shape, very good shape. And so I think the pay raises and salary increases for our employees. Where we fell short a little bit, we probably could have done a little bit more. But on a cautionary note, we have to be good fiscal agents and stewards of tax dollars. And so, we couldn't bankrupt our account and stuff to give that. But I do plan on proposing at our next ARP, that's American Rescue Plan meeting with the $8 million that we received from the federal government. We got the first $4 million tranche. We'll be getting the second portion here soon, and we've already earmarked some to give a $2,000 bonus premium pay for all of our employees across the board. Where we fell short maybe a little bit as well, we really needed some additional resources for animal control. That was one thing. They need some additional staff and some additional amounts of money. We did some, but overall, I think we did a good job with the budget this year. Commend Scott Rubley, who's chairman of Budget and Finance, and all the elected officials and directors for getting their budget proposals in soon. And so I think we were able to do an exceptional job in order to keep those services out there going for the regular public.
Of items that fall short or that can come up during a given year,
Right.
once a budget's already in place, that you feel passionate about or very strongly it needs to get either more funding or new funding,
Right.
what can a county executive do? What could you do to help be able to push that along?
Well, just be a cheerleader for that, and just keep driving that information out there through committees. As county executive, I'm an ex officio member of every committee, and that's one thing when you asked before about how you formed relationships. I try to attend every county committee meeting that there is. That's the only way I stay informed. And so I recommend that other county commissioners do the same thing. It may not be your committee, but to me, it's your responsibility in many cases to understand what the other committees are doing. So when proposals are made or information is shared, everybody has the same amount of information out there to make good decisions using the taxpayers' dollars.
The homeless issue has been in the news, in some cases nationally, definitely statewide, and even in Warren County and surrounding, and all counties really. What can the county? It's a concern to residential and business owners. What can the county do or do better to kind of tackle this issue?
Like you said, it's a crisis all across the country. Government can't do everything. We can't solve everything. We can't solve the homeless, crisis on our own. No matter how much resources that you aim at that, no matter how much you spend, it takes a community effort. And so our agencies out there right now, like HOME, UCHRA, some of the other homeless missions that are out there through state and veterans associations, we work hand in hand together. We work as a team on all of that. And what local government can do is to be a little bit more understanding of the issue. We realize, I do, with working with HOME and working through the mission work at First United, where we host showers on Saturday and allow HOME to operate a clothes closet and food pantry there at church, and we help stabilize people. The thing about it is, we don't need to just continue to hand out. We need to do, give people the opportunity to build themselves up and to be more sustainable. So, we want to give people those resources and tools, and that's how all these other agencies work together. So I think, channeling money into some of these agencies, they can leverage a small amount of money and get more bang for the buck than if government bureaucracy puts its hand on it and then has to go through all these committees and you're paying officials to make decisions about. And, you know, the homeless issue is really a community-wide crisis, and really the community needs to rally around and do something about it. One of the big things we see in the homeless population is mental illness, and that's become a crisis across the state, not only for incarcerated people, people on the streets, dysfunctional families, drug abuse. Many people don't have insurance, so they self-medicate because they got mental issues, and it's just, it's an endless cycle that cannot be fixed just by government alone. So it's going to take everybody working together as a team, a few more resources from the federal and state government as well, and then allow some of our agencies to help identify what needs to be fixed, and us try to find the resources to help them do it, either through grants or through public funding through local government.
If you're reelected to another 4-year term, what are your top priorities over those next 4 years?
Well, we are the top grant recipient in the Upper Cumberland, so we're going to continue to do grants. I want to get our armory built, so we were able to get that funding mechanism back in place over the last few months. We got the grant for the new health department, so I met with officials yesterday about that, so we want to get that health department built. I want to continue to build those relationships with federal, state, and local government so that, you know, we can get additional resources through grants to help fund some of our operations. I do want to concentrate a little bit more on animal control and trying to get a center for our animal control and adoption center. It's become a crisis lately, and it's a community need that's out there. But of course, I want to continue to invest in children and workforce development. So any kind of programs, training, facilities that we can open, I think will be critical to our success moving forward.
I guess last part here, County Executive Haley, is we've got a couple of minutes left,
Yes.
and for the folks that are out here watching and trying to decide who they want to vote for on August 4th when it comes down to County Executive Warren County, why don't you tell the folks why you're the best person for the job?
Well, I think over the last 4 years that my proven leadership has mattered to Warren County. I don't make idle promises. What I do is roll up my sleeves. I get the job done when there's a crisis or something that needs to be fixed. I like to fix it. I like to, you know, leverage as many resources and bring as many partners into it, because it's teamwork that has allowed us to make the progress that we have had over the last 4 years. Had one county employee who's a longtime employee come to me the other day and said, "Thank you." And I said, "For what?" And they said, "Thank you for pushing for pay raises and for trying to put some programs together for us because employees have been neglected." And I said, "I understand that, because employees are the backbone of our county government. They allow for the service to be provided." But they said, "You know, more has been done in the last 4 years than has been done in previous years the whole time I've been working. So just thank you." So, you know, when we look at the overall accomplishments that this administration has had, you know, we can celebrate those successes, not just me doing it, but putting the teams together and the collective cooperative, you know, collaborations that we have done across all levels of government to deliver to our citizens what we need. Even though I'm a historian, I believe it's the future that we need to invest in. So I plan, I'm strategic. I try to set up a vision that drives my everyday decision-making, and I'm not a politician. I am a public servant. I don't ask anybody to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. And so with proven leadership matters, I think we proved that when the driver's license center was going to be closed. I took no as not an answer. We fought hard. We restored the driver's license center. So most of the community knows that I'm out there fighting for you each and every day. And I humbly ask for your vote and support in the August 4th election. So thank you.
County Executive Haley, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, as always.
And we want to thank you for watching on BLTV Channel 6, 306 in HD. And also ask you to join us for our election coverage, which will be Thursday, August 4th, right here on BLTV Channel 6, also on the Ben Lomond Connect Facebook Live page, and then also on the Ben Lomond Connect YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.